Good afternoon. This is Jack Carabes. I thought I'd give folks perhaps just a couple more minutes to join, but we'll be starting in just the next couple of minutes. So thank you, and I appreciate your patience. Thank you all. Firstly, thank you for joining this afternoon. I want to respect everyone's time by kicking things off on time. I'm sure those who are joining will do so. But thank you for taking time out of your day. I will do my absolute best to keep this to 10 or 15 minutes to give you just an overview of what CascadeMD does. Firstly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Jack Carabes. I'm joined by Everett Singh. We are both on the business development side at Cascade. I may have been selected due to my, as someone said, perspective on the clinical documentation world, on the world of electronic medical records, et cetera. I started my career at NCR, a group called Data Pathing, and electronic medical records was placing barcodes on every shelf, every drawer, every record room in hospitals, labs, and practices, and then printing a barcode and placing it on the patient chart. Barcode on chart was scanned, barcode on drawer was scanned, medical record complete. And that was not so long ago where we were. So I come with some perspective as to where we are today. The company focuses truly on attempting to do our best to lower costs, to accurately document your patient encounters and get those encounters into your EHR where you can get them submitted, where you can get them billed. And that's why the company was built. We have a very large development group, hundreds of people, truly. Half of them are dedicated to AI, machine learning, NLP, and we very much believe in those technologies. IBM, one of the best funded companies on the planet, has today invested well over $1 billion in Watson. We know the technology works. We know there's a future to the technology. Our company, though, is focused a little bit differently. We know that people are necessary. We know that people can use the technology. The technology is not going to replace people. As many of the AI and machine learning products you use every day, from Waze to shopping applications, without an individual, all that technology, all that sophisticated artificial intelligence, machine learning, et cetera, is not nearly as useful. Watson, Google, every AI-based tool today is not going to replace your 10 or 20 or 30 years of medical experience. It's not going to replace your medical degree. It's not happening. And it's not happening in the clinical documentation world either. There are lots of claims of products that will completely record and transcribe your interactions with patients. There are products that claim to update your medical records completely and with no human intervention. Frankly, we think that technology is a few years away, and we believe that only with the participation of the individual, of the medical practitioner, of the medical professional, that the technology can be put to its greatest use. If you're like many providers today, you know a couple things. You know, firstly, you should be spending your time seeing and helping as many patients as possible. While from a spiritual standpoint, that's important. You want to help as many folks as possible. It's also helpful to see as many patients as possible from a practice standpoint. And as a provider, you've got to keep the practice running. You've got to keep things shipshape and billing, and submitting as many claims as possible is just as important. And so we think we're here to help you do just that. If you're using traditional transcription, you know it's expensive. You know the bill can come with a number of surprises at the end of every month that you may not have bargained for. Or you got used to it after a while. Once you had the service in place, response times can be long. Your patient record isn't getting updated. update it as quickly as you would like it to. It's not that accurate. The document you're getting back, that Word document you're getting back, isn't that close to what happened. May in fact have missed some things. It's time consuming. Now I'm getting that back from the transcription company, and it takes time. Someone in my office is correcting what I thought I had purchased a service to do. And obviously the management of that transcription document, the management and input into the EHR is taking focus away from the core activity. So all of these things are reducing your productivity during the day, ultimately reducing your revenue. The same thing is true and where we can help in terms of updating the EHR. If you're doing it manually today, whether documentation is coming back from a transcription company, whether someone internal is doing it, there's a term that we use. They're experiencing click fatigue, to be sure, but under any circumstance, whatever individual is performing that task, getting that data into your EHR, is better used elsewhere. No question about it. The technology options that I alluded to, we believe that all are overstated. I think Watson is a great one, and Watson doesn't make any claims that it can't deliver on, but $1 billion has gone in to try to create a product that could do what many products we know who have claimed to perhaps raise a little venture capital money can do. We don't think they can. We think that software can expedite things. We think that software can solve a number of issues, but we do need an individual to make sure it's accurate, to make sure your billing goes out correctly. Manual entry, my last point on updating the EHR, manual entry often misses a rich contextual data that can be captured by dictation or transcription if you're a provider and entering your own information. You may be missing some things, and when we say missing some things, sometimes those come down to missing things that were billable, that perhaps a claim might have been able to be submitted for. We think we assist in that through our software. The workflow itself is for provider, for transcriptionist, my apologies. Let's see what happened there. There we go. For the provider, for the transcriptionist, very, very similar. I'll use the customer in this case as the provider, but you're carrying on work as you do today. If you use traditional transcription, you're dictating into a device. We have several applications, both iPhone and Android applications that can be used, but that audio capture is made. It is being entered into the Cascade software, and this is where CascadeMD enters the picture. We're recognizing that speech. We're translating it, if you will, into a document, into the Cascade editor. That Cascade editor is being shared with A, your transcription company, B, someone in your office who might be providing that function for you today. And there, instead of getting a recorded file, which they have access to and can look at the text that Cascade has generated, and because we're contextually oriented, because we're focused on that file, on that recorded dictation, the individual can go directly into that actual dictation file, see the text that was generated against it, and update it more correctly, perhaps modify it, etc. So the transcriptionist, and I'll use that generically now, is getting the text that our engine has generated, saving hours in many cases, editing, making minor changes perhaps to that, reviewing it, and then sending that to our inference engine. And that's where I'll show you in just a couple of moments where that comes into play. But that particular portion of our software is allowing us to analyze what we're hearing, what's being read in by the provider, what's being read in by the individual who is frankly in the midst of that patient encounter. That output is then delivered. That is the output that is delivered often directly into the EHR. And so as we look at time savings, we're looking at two dramatic savings in time and money. A, the transcription based on the recorded file. You're getting text, the individual who's now responsible, transcription company or individual within your practice, is getting a textual document. Our engine has performed the transcription service. Now, there may be a transcriptionist looking at it further, obviously, and making further adjustments, but it's a long way toward getting you there. It's a long way to reducing that per line charge you're seeing every month. Then the output, a digital output, is able to be uploaded many times directly into the EHR. This is not a Word document being sent to someone in your office, someone in your practice. So the speech to text to EHR. While we firstly use the narrative transcription notes to extract data, that's something I'll demonstrate in just a moment. Number two, we're not asking anyone to change the way they're doing business. We're not asking anyone to stop doing what they're doing in terms of their current dictation, et cetera. We may offer a mobile app that's easier to use, but otherwise, we don't want you to change anything. If you love your transcription company, fantastic. If you love the mechanism by which it's being transcribed or entered today, fantastic. We're attempting to do it faster. We're attempting to update your EHR faster and more accurately. Well, what matters most is seeing more patients, helping more people, documenting it accurately, and making sure your documentation supports your claims. Generating more claims doesn't hurt either. But doing it at the lowest possible cost is where we think we can really help. We know, and we'll get into this, we'll obviously reach out to everyone after the call because we realize, frankly, that we'll have a lot of questions, and probably this isn't the forum. We know we promised you 10 or 15 minutes this afternoon, so we'd like to respect your time and keep it to that. But we believe that if you're using a traditional transcription company, those technology charges, hidden or not, those per line charges that you see, we believe we can reduce very, very dramatically. Simply, the transcriptionist, whoever it may be, isn't doing as much work. Scribing services, if you're using scribing services, we can lower those costs even more dramatically. And lastly, where frankly this should be highlighted, the synchronization to your EHR, the prospective automatic update of that digital file, that digital record, is something that might eliminate man weeks per month in terms of entry. Obviously, as you might imagine, we're HIPAA compliant. So again, we don't want you to change anything you're doing. However, we do offer both iPhone and Android app. We'll take the file directly from any dictation system you're using today, but if you'd like to, we offer some what we believe are advanced apps on both Android and iPhone. These next couple of slides are probably the best indicators of our technology and where the rubber really meets the road. That live inferencing we mentioned, our ability to reach into that dictation, because we've taken thousands, tens of thousands, and analyzed them, and where AI and machine learning adds power, is that we can read into what is stated and perhaps find more than you may think you're seeing. And so that allows us to improve the quality of the record, to improve the quality of the documentation, to make the documentation that's supporting the claim stronger. All of those things lend itself to better practice management and higher submissions, higher claims, more claims being paid. As a very simple outline, whether our application, your dictation file is being used, It's entered into our software. Our software is effectively transcribing it, is taking that speech, making it text. We're using our inferencing engine to improve the quality of the output, and that eventually, once it's gone through our editor, I'm skipping the editing page here, if you will, but that once edited, whether by your transcriptionist or someone in your office, that's uploaded into the EHR. And that's no small statement. EHR integration, EMR integration, as you all know, I think I'll have a slide on it in just a few, is a mouthful. And so I'll cover that and tell you why AI and machine learning really do lend a hand when it comes to integrating to your medical record. So the functionality within the product, a number of individuals in this continuum from patient encounter to update of medical record. A number of folks are touching this, and you'd like them to have different levels naturally of access to your medical record and varying abilities to modify that record where necessary. And so we give you that control within the application. We allow you to turn over that newly transcribed document, if you will, and dictation file to your transcription company, to the individual within your office, and you dictate what exactly they can do with those files. We manage the workflow. We can manage the workflow. We can manage alerts. If there are records that are being held up, if there are transcriptions that aren't occurring, and you'd like to know about it, you can establish the workflow. You can establish the alerts that are associated with that workflow and any bottlenecks you might be experiencing as you go. And the privilege is very, very similar. Similarly, you're granting access to precisely what that individual within, as I say, the continuum, third party, within your practice, within your extended practice, within other to and with other providers within your practice, etc. You're managing it. We have a number of detailed functions, and we hope that all of you ask perhaps for a brief demonstration of the product. I will say I was saving it for our pricing slide, but we do offer a free trial of the product, and so we encourage all of you we offer a free 14-day trial. If many of our customers we've had some larger providers who some of the providers haven't had a chance to use it, and they've come back and said, Jack, can you extend this to 30 days, et cetera, and we're happy to. If we see that you're using the product in multiple providers within your practice, or you yourself even haven't had an opportunity to, and you've availed yourself of the free trial, we're happy to extend it. But we'll give you a far better feel for a number of these things, including the reporting, when we demonstrate the product to you, the live product. I mentioned EHR integration because this is no small part of our offering. The ability to update your EHR with that digital record is a great deal to say. And as most of you know, when you look at, I'll pick on Epic, they're the easiest. If I have 100 installations of Epic, I will show you 100 different integration sets and integration and record formats for those 100 different implementations. I'll show you where either the provider struggles themselves to get compliance, to get assistance from the manufacturer, to those who have complete control over the input and output from an Epic, say, or a Greenway or a Cerner. As you get into a number of these other elements, a number of the other providers, there are open APIs. There are a number of integration features that are available from them. They make it easy. However, when you're an AI company and you're a machine learning company, our systems are constantly improving the integration to these various EMRs. We're learning from tens of thousands of encounters as to how we can improve the medical record. We're also learning from countless integrations to various EHRs how to do it better, how to make use of their APIs, etc. but the elimination of that manual entry on your part, that's a big deal. I've gotten a couple questions just today, in fact, prior to the webinar on price. Firstly, we offer a free trial. Today, if you go on our website and click either schedule a demo or contact me, note simply that you'd like a free trial, but probably you'll come through one of those first. You'll want to see the product first before you even log in for a free trial. But the product is free. We have today 4 levels of pricing up to $179 per provider per month for this service. We absolutely know we can reduce any of your charges by those prices. I'll get into the various degrees of on our next call, or that we have. If you'd like, we can get into the various levels of pricing up to that 179 and what each level includes. Free 14-day trial though. We're not asking you to believe anything. We're not asking you to take anything on faith. Try the product for a couple weeks. See if you're not reducing. See if you're not getting a better record back. See if you're not getting a clearer picture of what occurred during the patient encounter. See if you're not eliminating some of the time it takes to update your EHR. We're happy to let you do it, and as I say, we're happy to let you do it a little longer if you need time, because we know the product delivers. Well, with that, I'll say thank you. We encourage you to reach out to us by email, through the website. There are a couple of forms, contact me, schedule a demo, etc. Please don't hesitate to complete some of those forms. I recognize, in fact, some of the names of folks we've talked to and who have reached out in the past, or call us directly. We have your email. We'll be reaching out to everyone on the call. So we thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope we haven't gone too far over the time. Let me see, went over 20 minutes. I just can't help myself. Thank you again, and we look forward to speaking with you at your convenience. Thanks again.